So, motor's in. I'm just making some adjustments to get the radiator in, so I've cut the frame back on both sides, and I had to nibble away at the front engine cradle there to get the radiator close enough to the fan. So I've got to patch that up somehow, I'm not sure how yet. I built this big bracket for the radiator, and that goes right in front of the engine cradle, so maybe I can, I don't know, it's got a flange on the back of it. I can beef that up and tie the two together and make it all one. Not quite sure what I'll do there yet. Trying to figure out an aftercooler. I have two. This is the one off the, I got a Kenworth radiator, that's the one I'm putting in. That's off a T800. And I picked this one because the Freightliner radiator was quite a bit too wide. This one fits between the frame rails actually. It fits just between where I've cut it, there and there. It fits quite nicely. And then the charge air cooler goes around the outside, so the inlet and outlet are down there. I'm thinking I might flip it upside down. The turbo is here. It's going to sit there, and I'm going to probably bolt it to the frame rail there, or maybe cut a little bit more of the compartment away and bolt it. I've got a couple flanges coming. I'm going to probably weld one right into the frame, and then I can bolt the turbo right to that. And yeah, so then the turbo hot side will go back through the exhaust down into the bus, and then the cold side will go straight into the charge air cooler here. And then I'll just have to loop this side around somehow, not quite sure, under the motor or something, and back up. I haven't really figured that out. I'd just as soon not buy another charge air cooler, because I'd have to buy a new one, and they're somewhere around 1,500 bucks. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'll make this one work if I can. And front axle's in. Built some leveling blocks. I don't know if I can see them. Yeah. You can see how tight it is. So the bags are collapsed right now, and I built this panhard rod which locates the suspension laterally, and I made it so that it goes underneath the transmission, and there'll be about 5 inches of room between the rod and the transmission when the airbags are inflated. But right now, when everything's collapsed, it's sitting just above it, and I don't know if you can see the axle there, but I have a 1/2 inch between the top of the axle and the bottom of the transmission as well, and that's with the bags collapsed, so it'll only get better from there. And to achieve that, I built these lift blocks. So I've lifted the whole front suspension up 4.5 inches, which is what it took to clear everything. And now I'm working on the back. So the new diff is in. You can see that poking out there. Dark in my job. Anyway, that's the new diff. And this is another 4-bag air suspension back here. So it's bolted here, and then it just, the only pivot is right there, parallel link in front of the axle, and then it rides on these 2 airbags, 2 each side. And the whole assembly, the whole suspension assembly is bolted up alongside the frame there. And I'm thinking I'm just going to pull all those bolts out, raise the bus 4.5 inches, possibly 5. I'm probably going to go at 5 because I have to run a heavier steer tire, and it's going to add 1 inch of height, so maybe I'll go 5 inches on the back here, and I can tweak it a bit with the airbag height. But anyway, somehow I've got to put a 4.5 or 5 inch lift kit in there, unbolt those bolts, and put some kind of a big long lift block in there underneath the frame. So that's what I'm working on now.